The Strongman Classic is back and the Giants Live team have just announced this year's athlete lineup.
So this was an incredible competition. We may be talking from a slightly biased perspective, but it was a brilliant show. It's the Royal Albert Hall last year. It was the first live show back for Giants Live after over a year of having no fans at competition. We're hardly having any competitions at all. And obviously it was your retirement show, wasn't it? Your one last little stab at being a strong man.
My one last hurrah.
Yeah.
And it was a really incredible evening. Very special venue. The Royal Albert Hall it's literally the Madison Square Garden of the UK. It's an amazingly historical building, looks amazing. Backstage, it is a TARDIS.
Yeah, I was going to say, not amazing.
No, but when you're in front of the crowd, the acoustics, even though it's not the biggest arena by any means that I've been in front of, it's a very intimate crowd.
Everyone's on top of you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
very
it's
unique.
I mean, we had Bibey last year doing the Axel world record. My reception when I came out was just incredible. And it was just, like you say, it was the first competition back after everything that we've been through over the last few years. No fans at events, blah, blah, blah. It was exciting. People were happy to be there. I had Ava in the crowd, my mum, yourself. It was you got a smashed up toe. It was I got a smashed up phone.
Yeah, Alexey broke your phone. It was a manic evening.
It was. And we're very excited to be going back this year. No competition for me, which is nice. Trust me, it's nice. And I'm looking forward to seeing the athletes that are going. So, Elizabeth, who are we looking at for this year's show?
So athlete number one then is Adam Bishop. Now this is Adam's first, it won't be because we'll have World's Strongest Man before then, but the only competition Adam's done so far this year is Britain's Strongest Man. He's being more selective this year, so I'm guessing for him it's going to be Britain's, then World's, then this show, and then probably the Cardiff show.
Yeah, he's been a lot more selective about what he's doing, giving himself space between shows, and I think that'll help his performance. Adam's someone that, when he has time to prepare, normally very, very good.
Next then, we have the current Europe's Strongest Man, Alexey Novakov, obviously winner of the 2020 World's Strongest Man. He could well be World's Strongest Man again by the time this rolls around.
Could well be, and he is the defending Strongman Classic champion. He's won a lot of titles at his young age. I'm sure he's going to add to that list over the next few years.
Next, I'm very happy to see this athlete back, is Constantine Jansha, the Georgian Bull, the Trapezosaurus Rex. He's coming to the Royal Albert Hall.
Yeah, good solid performance at Europe's. Said he's looking to peak for World's Strongest Man and then be interesting to see how he does at the Royal Albert Hall.
And that's the interesting thing as well. You know, people wanting to peak for Worlds, this lineup could well change, couldn't it? Unfortunately, being the first competition after World's Strongest Man.
It could well indeed, but most of these guys like to compete, and I think as long as there's no injuries...
Barring injury,
we'll see them.
Next, the T-Rex, Evan Singleton, is returning to the Royal Albert Hall. Now, he placed second in this competition last year, just behind Alexey. Evan wants to win everything, so I'm sure he's going to put on
Evan won 2 Giants Live shows last year. He proved he's very good in the one-day shows. I know currently he is focusing on World's Strongest Man, but the one-day format seems to suit him a little bit better. So it's going to be interesting to see how he does at Worlds. Hopefully he will do very well this year and prove, how good he's getting.
I think if Evan can get into the final, he could do very well in the final. I think getting to the final is the hard part for Evan. I know he's had bad luck, injury first year, illness the second year, but like you say, the one-day show suits him because he puts so much in and it's hard to be pulled back and go again and come back and then have to sleep, and it's difficult. You were the same though, weren't you?
I was, and I expect Evan to do very well at the Strongman Classic again. I do think the one-day shows suit him better.
Another guy returning to the show, Bibey, and he's down to do the full show, which I'm really happy about. I mean, people enjoy the world record breakers and all that kind of stuff, but he has said he's going to be going for the record here, 220 on the Axel, so safe to assume that's one of the events. But I think Bibby could win a show like this. Like, he placed third, not doing the Atlas Stones.
Yeah, I'd be more excited to see Bibey compete in the full competition. I genuinely believe this guy is a superstar in strongman if he wants to commit to it. He has tremendous power. Statically, we know his shoulder power is incredible, but he's a great squatter. His deadlift has improved a lot over the last few years.
He's got incredible grip.
His grip's phenomenal, and he moves exceptionally fast for such a big man. So I personally want to see him do the full shows. I'm done. You know, I love seeing a record, but I've said many times I prefer people that win titles, and I think he's capable. He's a great all-round strongman. It's time to prove it. I think he's more than capable of winning this show.
Next, also returning to this competition, we have Mark Felix. Now, Mark being in it, like, call me a conspiracy theorist, tells me we're gonna have a Hercules hold.
I absolutely agree with you. I was just thinking the very same thing. If Mark is coming to the Royal Albert Hall, they had the Hercules hold last year. We know from the size of the venue, it's not the biggest venue, so space is an issue. So I think something like the Hercules hold, where you just stood there, could well be one of the events. We may be proven wrong.
Did I dream it? Or when you had the chat with Colin when we were at the Royal Albert Hall, did he say that they're going to have some really classic type events at this year's Classic? Maybe a backlift. Like, I must have dreamt it. Did someone say backlift?
You're probably just...
I know you
it's just
say
ingrained
backlift.
because I've said backlift so many times. I don't think we're going to see a backlift, but who knows? But I do think we're going to see a Hercules hold, especially with Mark Felix there. And then Evan Singleton and Iron Bibey.
Yes.
Those three... probably three of the best grips on the planet.
Someone not known for his tremendous grip strength, but nonetheless an incredible strongman. Rob Kearney is coming to the Royal Albert Hall.
Oh, going to be great to see. I think Rob will absolutely love it.
Oh, he will. He's very theatrical.
He is indeed. But great strongman. Did very well at the Arnolds this year.
Yes.
And I think the British fans will enjoy seeing Rob Kearney over.
Next then, a new guy on the block. He's not completely new. He's actually done a Giants Live before, 2018, the Giants Live North American Open, which he won.
I did.
But Spencer Remick, now he placed second at the official Strongman Games, which is a qualifier for Giants Live shows. So he's competing in this show. I'm excited to see. It's great to see some new blood.
It is. And, also Tyler Cotton as well, who was third.
Yeah.
I think he's going to get an opportunity at the Giants Live at some point this year. So it's a great way to get onto that next platform for you up-and-coming guys out there. I know how many amazing up-and-coming guys there are. OSG is the way forward, because if you get top 3 there, you get invited to the Giants Live shows.
And literally anyone can enter as well. As long as you're strong enough to get through the online qualifier, then you can go to Daytona Beach and you place top 3 and you're in.
Yeah, and then
we make it sound so simple.
We do. It sounds probably it's a lot harder in reality, but it's an amazing opportunity. And now those guys are going to be competing on the Giants Live stage. Get top 3 at a Giants Live, you're going to World's Strongest Man. So, big opportunity for Spencer. Going to be interesting to see how he does. I think he's going to enjoy the experience of a big crowd. The first competition you do in front of a huge crowd is just electric. But yeah, it's an amazing experience to go from competing in front of your friends and family and a few people to competing with a wall of screaming fans that, genuinely love what you're doing.
Sounds terrifying.
It's amazing. And it makes you raise your level. It certainly did for me. I loved it. You can see from the slight glint in my eye that I miss it just a fraction, but just not enough to...
People still cheer for you. You don't need to compete. So next, this one was a surprise to me, but a very pleasant surprise. Ken McLeod. Now, if you haven't heard of Ken, he's a master strongman, meaning he's over 40, and he placed second at the OSG Masters behind Zydrunas Savickas, but beating big names like Mark Felix, Dimitar Sabatinov, Jerry Pritchett. He is a 2-time Masters World Champion as well. He's won the OSG Masters before, and he's won the Ultimate Strongman one before as well.
Yeah, he actually went to World's Strongest Man as an alternate one year as well. Unfortunately, didn't get in, but he is a very good competitor and someone that has been overlooked for a number of years. Very pleased to see Ken get this opportunity.
Really nice guy as well.
Yeah. Well,
all the Masters are lovely, aren't they?
They are.
It's not just me. I'm not crazy.
No, they are. But Ken is very, very good. I mean, if you look how he performed at OSG last year, second behind Zydrunas, beat Jerry Pritchett, beat Dimitar Sabatino, beat Mark Felix. You know, these are big names that we hear about all the time. So Ken is very capable, very good all-round athlete as well. No gaping weakness, very consistent, a solid performer.
So next on the list then we have Scotland's Mr. Andy Black. Now it's easy to forget how new Andy still is. I feel like I say this all the time, but it's still relevant.
It absolutely is. I mean, Andy is one of the most talented people I've ever met. The speed that he's been able to transition from complete beginner to competing at Giants Live is incredible. And I think sometimes what he'll probably struggle with now is that expectation.
Yeah.
When you're the newbie and your first comp, there's no pressure, it's quite easy. He's starting to put that pressure on himself, and he still needs to take that pressure off a little and understand it's going to take a few more years to really get some of the weaknesses up to the level he wants to be at. He's a great deadlifter, he moves well, he's brilliant at Atlas stones, he's got some events he's very competitive at, but there are still a few weaknesses in the full ability to compete with the likes of Evan Singleton, with the likes of, you know, a Luke Stoltman, a Tom Stoltman, and Novakov, those elite monsters. I think he's got to go there, keep enjoying it, keep learning it, and take a little bit of that pressure off, and I think he'll do very well.
Finally then, Lozzie. Now, I'm sure this is not a coincidence, but the final athlete in this lineup is none other than, drumroll, Paul Smith.
Paul Smith has been invited to the Strongman Classic.
Just yesterday. Interestingly, we're talking about Paul
Andy.
in relation to Andy, yes, because it was leaked that Andy Black is going to be a reserve for World's Strongest Man. Paul Smith, no such news. And obviously Paul has beaten Andy the last couple of times they've competed together at UK Strongest Man and Britain's Strongest Man. So very, this is a great opportunity for Paul. I hope he can do really well.
Well, if there's an Axel and there's a Hercules hold in there, I think he can. He's got an exceptional grip. His Axel is probably his best overhead out of them all. So it'll be interesting to see what other events end up be put into this contest. Yeah. But I think he'll take the opportunity well. He'll want to beat Andy again. And whether he can or not we'll wait and see. But so good after yesterday. If you didn't see all the memes, and Paul is becoming the next Rauno. He's doing well in shows and getting overlooked a little. So really nice that Giants Live have reached out and invited him to this show.
And I think it proves Giants Live are listening, not just with the Paul Smith thing, but if you look at the lineup overall, last year, and I know there were lots of travel restrictions still. It was harder than a normal year, but there were complaints about very similar lineups, very similar events.
We've already seen different athletes, different events at the shows we've seen so far this year, and I think it's going to keep being that way.
Yeah, it's a good sign of things to come, I think.
So there you go, guys. The Strongman Classic 2022 tickets are available in the description below. If you can't get there, you will be able to watch on Facebook and officialstrongman.com. We will be there backstage as always, and we cannot wait for it.